Come on now. You already know what this is. First things first, God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive. And we got the one man and the only man that can check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. And that's the Heartbreak Prince himself.
Oh, ah, you know I'm cute. Hey, you know I'm
No,
sexy.
I got
Hey,
the look.
yeah.
Got all the girls. Wow.
Oh,
Let's keep the
man.
show on the
Good.
rails today, gentlemen. Let's keep the show on the rails.
Because you know how we go crazy for a while. And Mr. Exclusive, good to have you back. I know you've been gone for a little minute, but hey, we glad you're back, man.
Yeah, man. Look, first of all, it's good to be back, y'all. I know it's been a wild, it's been a wild month, but it's good to be back. Fresh off of vacation, the fellas held it down as always. Amazing work over the last couple of weeks, guys. You know, you've been killing it. So, you know, it's good to be back in and talk some wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, let's go ahead and kick it off with a 2 hours and 30 minutes of fire on Monday Night Raw, baby. I ain't gonna lie, man. After the weekend that we've had with All In, I mean, I could talk about All In all day, you know what I'm saying? But of course, what was going on with that weekend with the Great American Bash, Sunday night's main event, and of course with Evolution and the way that Evolution had literally ended off with caution in the bank, cash in.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's caution time. Man. Let's go, baby.
Yes, with the caution tape and everything on it. Man, you seen it. Naomi kicked off the freaking show. Okay. What? Man, come on. Came out with the title, holding it up. I love to see this. Okay. Naomi came out. She was saying, y'all thought that I was going to cash it in on Tiffany Stratton. But I told y'all ain't going to know my next moves. I said, okay, Naomi, I feel that. Because I ain't going to lie, you had us. Because we were saying you was going to be getting Jade or Tiffany Stratton. But we see what the end result was. So she came out, said what she said. And then Rhea comes out. When Rhea comes out, now she says that she had two goals that she was looking to do at Evolution, beat Io Sky and get back that title. And now she still couldn't do both because of Naomi. And now she's on her list. I said, okay, what you think? You Chris Jericho? Getting you a list? Okay, I see what you're doing. Then Io comes out. And at that point, she says that it doesn't really matter what she's talking about, that she wants her title match. Naomi says, I don't even know what you just said. Some people got offended, but just to let y'all know, that's a Rush Hour reference, okay? Know your movies. But then, even after that, Adam Pearce comes out and declares it's going to be a triple threat match with Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Miss Caution in the bank herself, Naomi. I can't wait to see that. And then we flash forward to the tag team match with Raquel Gonzalez and Roxanne Perez from Judgment Day going up against the Kabuki Warriors. Now, if it wasn't for good old Dirty Dom interfering, they probably would have got the dub. But good old good old Roxanne getting a rolling pin, and you see Raquel, kind of giving her that support. I like to see that support. Looked good on both of y'all. It really did. Then we flash forward to this was a banger right here. The 2 out of 3 falls match between Lyra Valkyria, okay, and Bailey, man. And honestly, we want to talk about getting the first pin. Bailey got the first pin. Lyra got the next pin. And then at that point, that third fall, man, come on. At one point, you seen Bailey having a crippler crossface on Lyra, and then she rolls out and then hits her finish on Bailey. Come on, insane. Then we flash forward, come on, to this heat.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man. This was fire right here. My man, Karrion Kross. Okay, and you see Scarlett right there behind him. Okay, you see what's going on with this. Talking about everything he did to Sammy. And he hopes that when Sammy comes back, that he'll say the words. I mean, honestly, what I love to see was Scarlett saying he's a liar. I said, man, okay. I mean, y'all saying some strong words here. But this was fire. I mean, we are finally starting to see more what's going on with Karrion Kross. Then we flash forward to, man, I ain't gonna lie, this one killed me. Nikki
Terrible
Bella.
finish.
Yeah, man, this was really bad. Nikki Bella and versus Chelsea Green, man. Look, honestly, I really can't grade this match. The most I can say, again, yeah, this was one of those matches. It was just a bad finish, just because of Nikki Bella. I mean, please just do what you gotta do so you can run these checks up and get up out of here, man. We gotta get her up out of here. But of course, the Secret Harvest starts to attack Nikki Bella, and who comes out to help her? La Primera. Okay, Stephanie Valkyrie, the woman with aura. All right, this is the best you can do. Because
No tag team.
This one, yeah,
No
please.
tag team.
We don't need this. We don't need this as a tag team.
Oh my God, I would be pissed.
Just let this be Stephanie helping Nikki, because that's the best we can do for this. Then we flash forward to Gunther, man. Gunther was coming out. Okay, he came out, talked his promo, talked about pretty much everything that happened with him and Oldberg, and how he put him down, did his whole thing. And man, one of my favorite parts of this, and of course I talked about even last week, my man Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. Okay, Paul Heyman says Braun Breaker's going to be the one to win this gauntlet match to face Gunther at SummerSlam. He says that Braun Breaker's going to be a long-term champion. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, I was cooking with this. But we then go to the first competitor, which was Penta. Cero Neto. Nothing. My man got nothing. Yeah, I mean, this was a great match overall. But Braun getting the first pin and getting the first win. Then he faces LA Knight. And at that point with LA Knight, then he gets the pin. I said, all right, this was something else. Now, don't get me wrong. This really had me more intrigued for Braun Breaker. Okay. Then next he faces Jey Uso, which, by the way, Jey Uso came out, did his whole entrance. And then, okay, literally starts beating the hell out of Braun, tosses him out the ring, and then does his entrance again to replay the music. I said, man, you crazy. And then they cut to commercial. Insane. But then CM Punk comes out. And you know what? CM Punk is the one that wins it. But then after that, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker start to set an attack to Jey Uso and CM Punk. I mean, honestly, they start beating the hell out of CM Punk. Jey Uso comes out, tries to help, and tries to say that does nothing. But who returns? Come on, man. You already know. You see it. The OTC. I am getting chills right now as we speak. Okay? The OTC. You see what it is. We talk about forward. We talk about storyline. We talk about how good is this getting. And you see what this is. Come on.
Couldn't help myself.
Man, it's okay. That made that even better. I'm going to tell you right now, the chills are going crazy. Okay. Roman comes out, beats the hell out of Bronson Reed, beats the hell out of Braun Breaker, pulls up Jey Uso, doesn't help CM Punk. They look at each other, and they're looking at Paul Heyman, the good old Oracle, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker, and this is the finish right here. Man, I got nothing but rock chills off of that ending, man. Look, this was good, okay? I didn't expect Roman to come back so soon. I really thought he was going to come back at SummerSlam. But honestly, I loved every single thing about this. Look, I wore my man Roman for multiple reasons today. I said, you know what? This feels a little nostalgic. This feels a little, prestige. Something about when the OTC comes back, it felt real. It felt monumental. It felt like it was supposed to happen, like it needed something. Okay, Roman coming back, this was great. I loved everything about this. Overall, got to talk about everything else because I could talk about that ending that happened for another 10 to 20 minutes if I wanted to. Okay, but I love how they kicked off the show with Naomi. Okay, Naomi being her natural self, being just great, just greatness. Okay, came out with the caution tape. I loved everything about this. Honestly, I'm wondering what they're gonna do with this though. Is what are they gonna do? Because she says something about Bianca, for a little minute. Didn't really not acknowledge much with Jade after that. Are we stepping away from this storyline? Are we taking a pause, or does Bianca come back? I wonder what happens with that. And I also wonder what happens at SummerSlam. Low key, not gonna lie, they low key kind of gave this away that Rhea Ripley was gonna be on SummerSlam when they did the press conference. What, 2 months ago? Last month? Yeah. Y'all did that in June. Wasn't even close to the event. And you had Rhea Ripley there. And she's just talking. We know she's gonna be on SummerSlam. But for what? Now we know. Well, we know well, I suspected it a whole month ago. Don't do that. Don't do that no more. And you did the same thing with Randy too. I mean, I'm not even gonna talk about that foolishness. But anyway, Lyra and Bailey, y'all killed it. Keep doing what you're doing with this. I can watch y'all wrestle for a whole hour. Y'all women killed it. Okay? Keep doing what you're doing. I love the spots. I love everything. Honestly, Lyra is showing more and more improvement. It's not even improvement. She's just showing more of herself every single week. And people are legitimately loving it. And I am too, because this is good. This is good for Lyra. Nikki Bella, please.
Gee.
Get this woman up out of here, man. I'm not trying to be no hater. I'm not trying to be none of that. But it's just like, we got plenty of women in the division that are doing it and killing it right now. We don't need Nikki Bella. You can look, but you can't touch. No. I don't want to look nor touch at anything you got. It's not something that I want. It's not something that the people want.
That's great.
Okay?
Those days are over.
Those days have been passed over. Okay, I'm
not the
done
Divas
with
era
this, man.
anymore.
It's not. It's not. It's not. And Braun Breaker, hey, bro, you killed it. I thought last week you killed it anyway. Okay, I don't know what it is with Braun Breaker's entrance, but man, that entrance of his has got an aura to it. I mean, starting off with the sirens, the music, everything goes. I'm like, yo, this is next level. Next level stuff. Paul Heyman standing behind in the back with the briefcase. I said, something about this entrance, man. It says a lot of a possible, a foreshadowing. And I love everything about it. But hey, Roman coming back, looking strong, just doing what the OTC should be doing. Okay. The reaction, the pop. That's somebody we wanted to see every week. It's obvious people want to see Roman back. And I'm all for it, man. I think he needs to come back full time again. I know, things happen with the contract, but at this point, man, it's almost like he's needed in certain ways because the pop and reaction and just the star power that he's carrying, man. Like he might have to come back full time. Who knows? Mr. Exclusive, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Man, it was a lot of good stuff on Raw. I want to say this first. I love what I'm seeing from Braun Breaker, and I love the fact that we're seeing from him the next guy in this company. We know they target that guy at some point during the who's going to be that next guy. He's that guy. He's the guy that they want to carry the company for the next 10 years. When Roman is officially to the side, that's the guy they're going to push. You know, Rollins, as much as I like Seth Rollins, I love all the good work he does, but Rollins is up there in age. It's not going to be LA Knight. LA Knight is up there in age. It's not. There's a couple of people that just won't be. Breaker has it all. The crowd is with him, heel or good, heel or face, doesn't make a difference. They're with him. They're barking. They're cheering. Every time he spears somebody, and that roof just goes insane. Undertaker said it a couple weeks ago. There should be nobody else doing the spear right now other than Braun Breaker. They should take it from everybody else, and he should be the only person doing the spear. If you want to make it special, he's the only person that should be doing it in the company, which I agree. As much as I love the OTC, I don't want to take it, but obviously if he's around, I can deal with that one. But nobody else, Jey Uso, all the rest of them, they need to shut it down. I don't want to see nobody else doing the spear unless it's Breaker or the OTC. And if it ain't one of those two, it needs to stop. it just needs to stop. So I agree with the Undertaker on that end. But I love what I'm seeing for Breaker. Paul Heyman is giving him that extra little push that makes everything just a little bit better. And so I'm excited to see what that will be. I think we're going to get maybe Breaker Roman at SummerSlam, maybe. Maybe that's just, the vibe I'm getting, but I love everything there. Lara and Bayley's match was absolutely gold. It was great. I wanted Bayley to win, I'm not gonna lie, but I love the way that they have helped. Both Becky and Bayley have helped build Lyra over the last couple of months, because we all knew how we felt before Becky came back. It was like, man, if they don't take that title off of her, which they did now, but I think her climbing to try to get it back has helped risen her game, and the crowd is into her, which is what they wanted. It took a little bit, but it took two of the great vets in the game to help build her where she is starting to grow and getting a following. Now you hear everybody saying, "Whoo!" They weren't doing all the woo-hoo at the beginning. Whoo! They weren't doing none of that when she first started. You may get them like, "Whoo!" Maybe a couple people that knew on NXT, but now the whole crowd talking about, "Whoo!" Like you're getting it from everybody. So that's a good deal for Lyra. I'm happy for her. Nikki Bella, get her out of here. Get her out of here. I'm just so glad she didn't win that Rumble at the Evolution. Because if she'd have won that Rumble at Evolution, I'd have walked out. I'd have walked out the house. So just leave. I'm just leaving if that's the case. But overall, Raw was good. I love the fact that it's going to be Punk and Gunther, but that's all setting up the Rollins thing. So we got to kind of just wait to see how that plays out. So I'm excited about that. Cross is killing it. Let Cross cook. I know it's the Sami Zayn thing, but we got to get him. We got to keep getting him up there. We got to build him up there. Maybe have a great run at the Rumble. Maybe not win it, but a great run at the Rumble to help boost him up. He usually does that with people that he likes. So let's hope. And special shout out to Naomi, baby. Caution in the bank. The champ is here, baby. And this one last thing I'll say about it. I'm tired of people online trashing Naomi. She's not a good wrestler. She's not this. It blows my mind when I hear people talk about how bad her wrestler is. And most people are upset about it because she left that time with Sasha. But unlike Sasha or Mercedes Moné, whatever way you like to call her, she came back. And when she came back, she's done her thing since she's been back. You can make a legit argument, besides Liv Morgan, that Naomi has been the MVP of the women's division overall. You can make a really good case for her. I don't think she gets it over Liv, but you can make a really good case for Naomi and the work that she's put in the year, help putting over Jade, help building, honestly, she helped build Bianca up a little bit more and that storyline overall. So she's done so much. And we know this is probably her last run. We know this is her last run. She wants to go have a family. So these people talking all this crazy stuff, I'm like, look, let this woman have her final run. And I appreciate WWE for giving her that chance.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Heartbreak Prince. What are your thoughts, man? What you think?
I think it's going to be pretty much the same thoughts. I thought Raw overall was decent. So I'm going to just talk about a few things that I did not enjoy seeing. And the first one was seeing LA Knight, in this match with Braun Breaker, take the pin in that whole buildup. Don't get me wrong. I love what they're doing with Braun Breaker. And I know that Braun Breaker is the future star, the future of WWE. My only gripe or reason the reason I take an issue with it is because we know LA Knight is a huge star as well. And we know we've been talking for a while about LA Knight possibly factoring into this championship opportunity. And to me, when I see something like that, it says to me, you're not the next person up. You're not it. Like, they would rather push Braun Breaker before they give LA Knight a run. And we also know LA Knight is up there in age. And we know WWE has this thing that once you reach a certain age, or they're starting this thing, I should say, that once you reach a certain age, they start looking at your contract differently. And so it's like, okay, so when are we going to start, giving LA Knight his run, his opportunity to get there? So when I saw that, I was like, man, they included him in this, and he's taking the pin. I don't know. I felt a certain type of way about it because I was like, well, you could have replaced him with somebody else that you probably weren't going to be pushing at this moment in time. Because I feel like it does do something to his momentum with him taking a pin by Braun Breaker. And the last thing I would hit on was I wanted to see Bayley win. I mean, I like Lyra. She's been definitely doing her thing and growing, but I wanted to see Bayley get, this opportunity here. Bayley has had many of opportunities. She's been champion and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to see another Bayley Becky, matchup come SummerSlam. I feel like I've seen Lyra and Becky like multiple times now this year. So something a little different. I know we had Becky and Bayley just recently, but match number 2, and so I'm not mad about it because Lyra is still a great choice. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I'm not saying that Lyra is not gonna give us fire, in this match with Becky, because they have good chemistry, especially when they got around to like their second time going with each other, and then the third they were killing it. So I mean, it's kind of like running back again. But I had a thing right now for Becky, and I just wanted to see her go over in this specific match for this specific opportunity, since we didn't get to see her at WrestleMania. Seeing her at SummerSlam would be nice, but it's just not the way it worked out. But other than that, those were the two things that I was just like, man, I wish they would have went a different way with it. Nothing against it. Like I said, LA Knight was the one that hurt probably the most, just because, I like LA Knight and I think the crowd is behind LA Knight, but then they do stuff like this, which just, I don't know. It's just something about LA Knight where I guess Triple H and the executive staff, they're making these decisions. Either they just don't see it. It's almost like what's my boy name that's just cut his fire promo this week. I'm looking right. I can't think of his name. Killer Cross. Yeah. He like crowd's been behind him for a minute, but they're just slowly but surely making their way to kind of giving him time and opportunities. And it's like, come on, man. Like, you're force feeding me stuff that I don't want, but the stuff that we want to get, we want to get to.
Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
You just, I really don't want to do it. So that's the thing. But other than that, the show was good.
Yeah, man. I definitely agree with you. Definitely not seeing Bayley win that, that 2 out of 3 falls. I definitely agree. Because we really haven't seen Bayley at WrestleMania, so I would have liked to see her at SummerSlam. Not to see her at Evolution, but I mean, honestly, even if we could have got that triple threat again at SummerSlam, I think we still would have been hella
even if they did triple threat, that would have been nice. Have all 3 ladies. They've been in a back and forth for the last few months. Have all 3 ladies do it. That's fine too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Actual story. But we talked about some of the great things about Monday Night Raw. Now it's time to talk about my man Shawn Michaels hooking it up on NXT, baby. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. NXT was a banger, man. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have any problems with this. Of course, they showed off some of the replays that happened with the Great American Bash. Of course, we seen the young OG get bouncy on Jasper Troy. First opening match. Did your thing, Javon. We knew you would do it. Of course, because we know how the OG is. So that's just what it is. And of course,
shout out
shout out to OG.
All day.
And then, of course, they had a few good matches. Ricky Saints and Ethan Page. That was pretty much of a banger match with that whole street fight, false count anywhere. Did a whole bunch. So they showed a lot of replays from that. They showed some replays from Evolution. Showed some stuff with Blake Monroe, okay, and her turning on Jordan Grace. They did a few things, but then they kicked it off with Fatal Influence. Man, look, Fatal Influence came out. JC Jane trying to talk, barely can talk. Her voice is all cracked and messed up from the match the tag team match that they had. Okay, at the Great American Bash, but she fought through that injury during Evolution. But she comes out, she talks, she says that it doesn't matter if Masha Slamovich tries to interfere. She doesn't really care about Blake Monroe. That either way, it's just all about Fatal Influence just taking over. Okay. And then, of course, Soul Rook and Zarya come out, start talking. Then it's funny because then, of course, they mention Zarya accidentally spearing Soul. Okay. And then Masha Slamovich comes out. And then at this point, now everybody's talking. And this sets up the 6-woman tag team match that happens later on. Then we flash forward. So, man, I ain't even gonna lie. This other tag team match that we had going on is another 6-man tag team match. I would have thought Teddy Long was running this one tonight. Many tag team matches we had going on. Okay, we had Hollywood Trick, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana going up against Dark State. And honestly, with Joe Hendry and Mike Santana both turning on Trick to the point where Mike and Joe both was actually handling Dark State by themselves for a little bit. And then they start getting jumped. But then what happens? The system. Man, the system comes out. They help, Mike Santana and Joe Hendry, and it's looking like a good old TNA versus Dark State, especially with this. And I love how it looked. Trick was outside of the ring holding the title, talking about ain't nobody getting it. I say, yeah, you right, Trick. You tell him. Then we flash forward to, first of all, Ariana Grace. So glad to see her again. She's doing her thing on TNA. But Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovich talking. And I was like, man, I wouldn't mind if these women got back together as a tag team. But Callie Armstrong comes out and really starts. And I'm really feeling Callie Armstrong from Evolve, man. The first women's Evolve champion. She's out here talking her stuff. Carmen says, oh, you're feeling big and bad and bold because you beat Natalia. Why don't you face me in the ring? Cal said, look, it ain't nothing but a thing. You ain't saying nothing. This ain't nothing but a problem. Okay. Then we flash forward to the actual match with Callie and Carmen. And then Jordan Grace she pulls up, pissed off, by the way. Of course, what happened with her at Evolution. So then at this point, she comes out, attacks Callie Armstrong. She attacks Carmen Petrovich. And then she's looking for Blake. She's like, where's Blake? They said she's not here tonight. And then Blake Monroe pops up on the screen.
My girl.
Come on, man. And she literally gives an invitation to Jordan Grace to be at her first singles match next week in Texas, in Houston. They are really trying to. Hey, look, I'm curious to see how this goes. So we're gonna see what happens with that. And by the way, she's gonna be facing Ren Sinclair. But we flash forward, to Trick. Honestly, just popping off and just really going off and all the LFG. This is Team Taker's crew right here. Talking about, yeah, you can go ahead get Taker if you want. I don't care. None of y'all really compare to what I'm doing. And when you see the TNA champion, you need to move the hell out the way and move accordingly. I said, man, Trick, you talking. I said, go ahead, Trick. Come on. But it was very interesting, okay? Because my man all the way on the right here got a call from Taker, okay? Silo passes the phone. I'm trying to remember what this guy's name is. And I've been watching LFG. Something from the Bayou. I forgot. But anyway, there's so many of these people from LFG, man. I ain't gonna lie. Some definitely a possible future greats. Honestly, my girl Bailey Humphries, that's the one on the left. She's gonna be something. But yeah, man. Honestly, so then Trick is literally just to the point where he's just being disrespectful, and then they get a call from Taker. But then Trick walks off. Then we flash forward to this guy, Jasper Troy. Look, the Pebble. Ava really tried to tell Jasper Troy, you really should have interfered in that match with Ricky Saints and Ethan Page. Jasper tries to pretty much justify what he did that was right. All this, that, and the third. Okay, now he's got a match with Ricky Saints next week in Houston. Then we flash forward to, man, look, Lash Legends, man. Look, Lash was, getting a lot of shine.
A lot of black
getting
excellence.
Come on now.
A lot of black excellence.
Getting a lot of shine, getting a lot of praise for what she did at Evolution. Jada Parker comes around and says, look, hold up. Don't act like you were the only one that shined, because I threw out a future Hall of Famer too. I already did a lot of stuff too in that same match. Granted, Jada Parker wasn't capping about that, but at the same time, Lash was one of the last ones that got eliminated. So, but I like this. I like how this looks. Okay, this is looking good, and I want to see more of this with Lash and Jada, honestly. Then we flash forward to this banger of a triple threat match, okay? Tony D'Angelo versus Stax going up against Luca Crucifix. Look, this was a banger, okay? The ending of the match with Stax getting a crowbar, missing Luca, and then Tony D spearing Stax through the wall. Banger. Then Tony D looking strong, coming out, and then he puts Luca through the table. And come on. Chokeslam. Then gets Stax out, chokeslams him, and pins for the 1, 2, 3. And honestly, the ending of this with Tony D looking at the hatch says a lot. And this looked good for the Don, man. The Don ain't looked this good in a long time. Pause. But this was good for him. Then we flash forward, man, to the no quarter catch crew, man. Look, I ain't even gonna lie. The whole thing with Ren Sinclair trying to justify why she threw in the towel, she thought Charlie Dempsey wasn't gonna let up. He was gonna break his knee. I ain't gonna lie. I get it for Tavion Heights, honestly. I definitely do. Is it really a National Ice Cream Day? Well, you know what? I gotta give me some Bluebells for that.
Either that or Cold Stone, baby.
Come on now.
Let's get it.
Bluebell.
That's so crazy. But Ray also talks about how she's got a match with. Come on now,
are being made right now.
I'm going to get some.
I gotta get some Bluebell.
I'm getting some Bluebell now. It's raps. It's raps. But Ren talks about pretty much her match with Blake Monroe, how she doesn't want help, how she doesn't want anybody out there, and that she's got it. I said, all right, Ren, we'll see what happens with that. Don't get me wrong though. Ren Sinclair, she's got a lot of potential. Then we flash forward to Oba, the ruler. Oba came out and was talking some stuff to Josh Briggs. Josh Briggs was trying to say that Inamura tries to do all the stuff with fighting with honor, and that pretty much Oba pretty much came at Josh for saying that you ruined my legitimacy in beating Inamura and making it look like I got the win by myself. With you interfering, this is what cost it. And it's your fault. And of course, he's gonna give Inamura a rematch. Josh Briggs is saying all this, that, and the third, that he don't got it. That he's saying, why don't you put the title up against me? Inamura comes out, and now at this point, now it's gonna be a triple threat match between these three men. And honestly, we know what it is with Obafemi, because it doesn't matter what anything changes, the results will still stay the same as the ruler. Stop playing with him, man. Then we flash forward to Ethan Page. Ethan Page saying he's going to be saying he's going to be having a celebration in Houston, okay, for his North American Championship title defense. And honestly, I'm excited for this. This looks it's gonna be good, man. I'm very excited. This was good. He said he didn't want to do it in Orlando with the fickle fans. He said no, he's gonna do it in the great state of America. In Texas. I said, you know what, bro? You got it with this one.
Yo, his glasses, right? His glasses give me IRS vibes, man, from the 90s. Like,
yes.
Every time I see him, like, you see the point? You know how many, like, back in the vignettes back in the day, it was like, pay your taxes. If he went that route, I'm just saying.
I guess
my guy Ethan Page, baby.
Ethan Page. Then we flash forward to Ricky Saints, man. Ricky Saints pretty much just saying that he's gonna keep showing up and showing out like he said he's going to. He's gonna face Jasper Troy in Texas, and he's pretty much saying he's gonna keep doing what he's doing. And honestly, I hope so, Ricky, because I ain't gonna lie, man. They kind of got you on a little downward bit of this momentum, man. I ain't gonna cap, but it is what it is. It's okay. I'm always pushing for my man Ricky Saints. He's got it regardless. That man's got aura. Then we flash forward to the culling. Okay. Tatum telling Izzy Dane, I'm so sorry that, that we didn't win, that it's my fault. Izzy said, no, it's okay. It's not your fault. She said, you're part of the family now. Look at shit. Look at Sean. Look at Sean. Just happy. And then they're saying that they got some plans. That Izzy's got plans for them. And Tatum is just this is actually good for Tatum Paxley, man. This legitimately fits everything about I actually really like this. But then we flash forward to the main event. Okay. But Marsha Slamovich, Sol Ruka, and Zarya facing up against Fatal Influence. Now, honestly, the way this match went, it was insane. It was crazy. To the point where actually Izzy Dane and Tatum Paxley came and attacked Sol Ruka and Zarya. And then they start fighting in the back. But the crazy thing was, it was Fatal Influence versus Marsha. This was insane. Marsha literally dog walked all three of these women and got the dub to the point where she just had both titles and tossed it back to JCJ. And this is the finish right here. Man, now I'm not going to lie, man. NXT did not disappoint. Sean, you cooked up as normal, as I would expect, as always so. I wasn't really mad about too much. I love what they're doing with TNA, doing the whole, the partnership. It's looking good. I was questioning what they was doing with Darkseid coming around TNA and attacking people. And I was like, all right, now, if we just attacking people, that's fine. But let's have some real purpose to this. But I like what they got with the system, man. This is good. Honestly, man, I think for me, seeing my girl Callie Armstrong looking really good, showing off that she's got it. I like what she's got. So much potential. Keep it going, Callie. You're still being the Armstrong, not the Roderick Strong. Put your own Armstrong, okay? What was really interesting, though, I like to see Trick Hollywood, Trick Willy Wonka, Trick and A, two-brand Trick. I like to see how Trick really is showing and portraying himself as a character right now. Being the real heel, kind of still taking the top, and the crowd is behind it regardless. But I like how what he was doing with LFG, talking all that stuff. I said, you know what, Trick, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I like to see. You talking down to the LFG people. This is what you're supposed to do as a heel champ. You talk down to people. Don't give encouragement. Talk down to them. Disrespectful. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Last two things I'm gonna talk about. Lash and Jada. Come on. Let's do something with that. Let's come on now. The promo work these women can have, insane. I loved everything about that segment. I said, let's keep it going. Let's do something. I wish it was for a title, honestly, just to give it a little bit more of a prize at the end. But I'm okay with just this promo battle. But please, let's not just have Jada as the person that just starts stuff and then doesn't finish it. Don't do that to my girl Jada.
Yes.
All right. Let's not do that to Jada Parker. Let's not do that to Miss Parker at all. Okay. But last thing, man, I gotta talk about Tony D'Angelo.
Tony D.
I was so happy for this man. I really was. Because the last couple months we've been talking about it, man. Tony D'Angelo, man, has just not been looking good these last few times. Like, just everything was Stacks, Luca. Then even Adriana Rizzo tried to get something solved. That didn't even work. I said, man, this is insane. But honestly, the way Tony looked, you looked good and you looked strong, baby. Roderick Strong. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Man, great show overall. NXT usually delivers. I got to start there with Tony D. I was so happy to see that he finally got a win. The match that the three put on was great work. It's I don't know where they're getting ready to go. I don't know if this is it for the family. They're gonna come back around to it, but look at my man Tony D. He said, "Leave the body, take the cannoli.
Leave the body.
Leave the body, take the cannoli." That's what he said, and he moved on. I love it. Make him an offer he can't refuse, and it's just I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Tony D, the family, man. I hope y'all can get yourselves together because I really don't want to see the family just go away. Because I felt like they had that whole thing had the ability to be special throughout NXT, and if they ever got to the main roster, so maybe we'll see. I'll keep hope alive for that. But great match. I was happy to see Tony D finally get a win because he's been on a losing streak. My man's been beaten down over the last few months, and so I think he really needed this, and I think it went the right way. So shout out to them. Big thing here I like too, Jordynne Grace. They keep putting her in these title matches and she keeps losing, which is annoying because I'm like, all right, if y'all gonna keep booking her to lose in these things, you're killing me here. They're killing me. But I was happy she came out there, Rec Shop, looking for Blake Monroe, which I thought they made an excellent call. They made a great call with Blake Monroe by showing us that she was heel. Because I really didn't want to see her come in being a face. I really didn't. I think she's at her best when she's a heel. And so seeing her, be heel, hit Jordynne Grace in the back with the title of Evolution to allow JC Jane to win and keep the title. Great stuff. And then I love how she pops up on this week and she's in the bath just relaxing after she just did something diabolical to Jordynne Grace to ruin her third or second attempt at the women's championship. So I love it. I love the fact that she's like, see me next week in Texas. I don't know what she has up her sleeve, but if Jordynne Grace is looking for her, it's gonna be problems. Jasper Troy, love how they continue to build with Jasper Troy. He is running a gauntlet right now of greats of NXT. He went from Oba to the young OG. Now he's got Ricky Saints. Great things in the future for Jasper Troy. I really do. I know we may not be fans of the name Jasper Troy, but the man in the ring is the match he put on with the young OG, great work. And this, I'm trying to keep in mind, get people to keep in mind, he's new to NXT. So like we're just now seeing him, but he's doing well in these matches with people. And so I'm really interested to see like where Jasper Troy's story goes, because I really do think he can be a huge player in NXT, especially in the men's division. Hopping over to not Ricky Saints, the Ego, the man himself, the promo he cut, Ethan Page, love it. the split with the America and Canada, love it. Just Ego, man. It's just who he is, and I always love the way he carries the title around. Great work there from Ego. Shout out to my man. I hope that the stuff going on with Seth doesn't ruin any opportunities for him, because I really want to see him part of the faction with the Paul Heyman, the Seth Rollins, a Braun Breaker, and like I think that would be great if he was that extra member. Jumping over to Oba. Anytime I see Oba, it's a blessing. What a blessing, because Oba is that dude. That is my boy. I love when he's on the mic. He is the ruler. And the cool thing about Oba is I love the way they've been booking him. To me, they've booked him so well. They have made him this unstoppable force. Like any match that he's been in, any challenger, he's been able to beat him and overcome. There's not too many people left in NXT that can challenge the ruler at this point in time. He's almost like the Hurt Syndicate, where it's just like, please, we're begging for somebody to come and take this title. But Oba is doing work. And then lastly, what was my last thing? I lost I can't forget. Last, I want to end it off with this. Love seeing my girl Lash Legends. And then Jada Parker. Just putting them together, boy. just a sandwich there. And you know what I love is that
Excellent.
Lash Legends, the way they booked her, the way that she was in it. You know, she was the last one standing in that Rumble at Evolution. I love that because to give her shine and opportunity, because we've been saying for a while, like we're surprised at how they've been booking Lash Legends since at the kind of at the beginning of the year, toward the end of last year and the beginning of this year. They were booking her really well, and then all of a sudden it's like a fall from grace, all of a sudden type of thing. But to see her stand tall in the Evolution, you know, with La Primera, love the finish of that. I don't know if it was a botch. Because her arm got caught in the rope when she went over. But if it was, and they decided to change something on the fly and go into the Devil's Kiss and then throw her off that way, that was genius by those two ladies because you know, that was a great way to finish that match. I love it. But seeing them still trying to book Lash Legend strong here, and then Jada coming in with her, you know, hey, look, I don't forget about what I did in the Rumble as well. Great stuff. Can't wait to see what happened with these women. The only thing that would make it better is if there was a title on the line. Like that would just make this a great story. But in this case, we have what we have. I just like seeing my two ladies, you know, get to go at it and get their time. So shout out to Sean and what he did on NXT this week. They did a great job, killed it. Hey, Young OG, phenomenal match as well. Got to give him his shout outs too. So, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Whew, boy, NXT had a lot. I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, you know, we talked about it a couple months ago. Like NXT out of all the shows has been the most consistent show where like each week you feel like, okay, you're going to get something good. It's going to be something interesting. It's always there because, you know, you'll have your Raw shows and they're like, okay, all right. And you have your SmackDowns and like, all right. But NXT has been consistently good.
Yeah.
You know, it's never bad. It's either good or great. You're getting one of those two from NXT. And so this is another example of the growth in the company that we continue to see. And there's just so much. Trick Williams is gold right now, y'all. I mean, look, I was very skeptical after he lost the title. He lost the title. I think he lost to the Oba, right?
He
lost to Oba, right? Yeah. So when he lost the title to Oba, it felt a little weird initially because I was like, it feels like he's trying too hard. That's the vibe that we was getting from Trick. It was just like he was just trying to find himself. And at that point, I thought they were about to move him up because the way they were kind of going with it. But ever since Joe Hendry kicked in the picture, and he's been able, and they branded him with TNA, and this is something we talked about. Like they had to have a title switch where somebody on the other brand has that title, and it was good to see. Like I said to myself, this is it. And from that point on, ever since he's been two brands Trick and all that other fun stuff, he's killing it. He's killing it. And the way he treated, the way that he treated the LFG guys. And this bad boy had me cracking up. Now, the best part of this, though, was after they faded back to the announce table and they showed Booker T's face. Booker T was so happy. Booker T was so happy that he was giving the Undertaker's people the business. Because we all saw that. Now, I don't watch LFG the way I want to, but I've seen clips. I used to watch clips. And I saw that clip how mad Booker T was when Undertaker took his guy. You know what I'm saying? And Booker T had been training this guy up, and then Undertaker goes and takes his guy in that draft. He was pissed. So there's underlying beef between the Undertaker and Booker T on this show. And it shows, and it was so great. It was so great to see, Booker T's guy, do this to the Undertaker and his team, and just watching Booker T's face. If you haven't watched, you got to go back and watch how happy Booker T was when it all went down. I was like, yeah, I love that. Then Jordan Grace. First of all, we got to address Jordan Grace's hair. This 80s hairstyle. That like 80s mom rock star hairstyle.
The Saturday Night's Main Event hairstyle.
Yeah, I mean, woo! Somebody tell me, hey, perm it back down, baby. Perm it back down. Straighten it out because it's tough. But the losing consistently, I think, will eventually pay off for her because they want to build her up. So when they do win the title, like, look, she finally did it, and I think that's where they're going with her. But, it's crazy that she has lost in some of these really big matches. She's kind of getting the Jada Parker treatment to an extent.
Yes.
And where she's lost in a lot of these big matches. I hate to see that she crashed out against the Evolve champion because I like Ms. Armstrong. And I didn't like the fact that she did that. But then my girl came through. When my girl Blake came out there in the tub, I'm like, yeah. So it's her turning heel at Evolution was the best thing. I personally would have loved to kind of maybe make it wait a little bit longer, but I know why they did what they did. She could be a face, but she's a heel at heart, and we saw the work that she did with Timeless Toni Storm, and if you're WWE, you have to capitalize off of that. And so yes, making her heel, making Jordan Grace sweat out there is going to be the perfect move for that. Jasper Troy. Two things I don't like. I don't like the look. There's something about the look that bothers me. And he's not a great talker yet. And I said this about the OG a couple months ago. And, young OG has been killing it since then. Maybe me saying this now will help out Jasper Troy. Because it's something I feel like he's like, I'll do what I have to do. I'm like, all right, look, buddy, I don't know what that is. And I don't know if you're trying to be a monster or whatever you want. Fix that. You got to do a little bit better talking on the mic.
Some chains hold them down.
Yeah. Well, look, we've been free for a long time, my brother. Unchain yourself. That's gotta be fixed. But I will agree with HP Prince. Like, he's been killing it in the ring, so I don't want to take it away from him. He's doing that, but man, we got to fix those two things. That's just for me. Lash and Jada, I think that's going to be really good. If they decide to make them a tag team, I would also be intrigued by that, because that's the vibe initially, even when they were kind of talking back and forth, like maybe like a friendly competition tag team thing, maybe like a Alexa Bliss Charlotte type of thing, maybe not to the same extent, but two competitors that just, respect each other, but they may not act like they're the friendliest to each other. So I could see that with them too. If they decide to go that route, maybe they find, I don't know.
It wouldn't be bad, actually.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean,
they would kill them promos.
They would kill the promos. And then them two together, I could just see it's going to be a different swag. When Jakar and Lash were together, they would had something good building up. But obviously, I think that's another reason why they started losing. Maybe they knew they were getting rid of Jakar, and they didn't want them to be on a high note before they did all of that. So it's a lot going in there. A couple more things, because I know we got to keep things moving. Shout out to our man Tony D. He deserved it. I hope they fix the family. Hope they fix the family. Shout out to the culling. I love Proud Papa Sean. He's doing some really good things there. My man from the No Quarter Crutch crew, Steven Regal's son.
Oh, Charlie Dempsey, yeah.
Charlie Dempsey. I need them to change his character. Like, I'm not saying be his dad, but he needs to have some of his dad's swag, that somehow his version of it. Because he's got the look for the hair, gives this, like, he could be this old, rugged, just English badass that just beats up. Like, he has that look. He's his father's son. Unleash that, make that happen. Maybe do the same thing with Lexus King, make him crazy like his dad, but in a different version. Make all that happen. Just figure that out. And then last but not least, Oba. The Oba situation for me, he's killing it. He's killing it. Everything you guys said about Oba, 1,000% correct. I have no issues there. My only thing is, I don't like this feud that they kind of got going right now. The Brooks, that he doing too much. He pissing me off. I'm like, get out of here, guy. So the real problem is when it's time for them to it makes me intrigued on who will they have beat him, because he's running through the roster. And unless there's somebody that comes in from the outside, which is the way I think it will go, or maybe it's somebody from TNA, it's gonna be one of those two. And I think I don't know if I see anybody right now that could pull it off, and I would be okay with it, maybe, because he's killing it. And so this could be a really long reign for him. And I'm just intrigued to kind of see where at some point that he, loses and moves on, because when he gets to the main roster, I really think it's going to be some really good stuff if Triple H and the crew do it right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Just like you said, if they do it right. They should do it right.
I agree.
You can't make the rule look like a jobber.
Be like Mikey. Be like Mikey. Just do it. Come on now.
Come on now. Just do it. That's it. That's all we're saying. It's nothing hard. This is easy stuff here. It's easy stuff. But we talked about some of the great things with Shawn Michaels cooking it up with NXT. Now it's time to talk about the best part of the end of the week with Friday Night SmackDown. Man, not gonna lie, man. SmackDown was good. I wasn't too mad about some of the things that happened on SmackDown. Decent, good show. I thought it was pretty chaotic how they started it off because they kicked it off. What a hit and run, okay? Apparently, Tongaloa, they showed Tongaloa had blood on his eye. Okay, they trying to figure out who got hit, who's in the accident. The Prophets and B-Fab was in the back, okay, talking to a cop. I'm like, what is going on here? Adam Pearce talking about, Nick Aldis took the week off, so I'm here. And then Cody Rhodes comes up. Adam Pearce hands, gives the contract to him. He says, this is everything that we talked about. Handed it to Cody Rhodes. I said, man, this is interesting. But this was hilarious. I mean, Solo sitting there trying to figure it out, trying to find out who hit Tongo, who hit them, and just drove off. I mean, this was hilarious. Oh man,
hey, classic Adam Pearce, though, right? Every show he on, chaos ensues.
Chaos. That man,
hey, keep him away from people's shows. Go back.
No, that's the only one. Because I said, man, this don't be happening on SmackDown on a regular basis. Now when Nick Aldis is there, I'll tell you, boy. Then we flash forward to Charlotte, okay, going up against Raquel. Now, look, this was interesting because before this, okay, Charlotte and Alexa were talking backstage, okay, and they got the shirts talking about we aren't friends. We're not friends. All right, whatever. We get it, okay? You don't got to force it. We know what it is. Charlotte asked Alexa Bliss, can you be out there for me like a cheerleader? Yeah, I look like one. A great one. I said, what is going on here? Okay, Charlotte goes out there with Alexa Bliss. Not going to lie, I like the entrance of both of them coming out. Gave definitely an aura. People are starting to kind of pop for Charlotte a little bit now. We're seeing some of these things happen. The formula is somewhat working. Then we flash forward. Man, this was interesting. Jade Cargill and Tiffy Time, man. Look, both of these women talking about what they're going to be doing at SummerSlam. At this point, I'm not going to lie. Since the fact that Naomi has cashed in the Money in the Bank, I low-key kind of don't care about this. And I don't know what it is. I felt like my main thing was like I wanted to see Naomi get it at the end of the day. But now that Naomi is not for this anymore, she has the championship. I mean, this is going to go either way. If Jade takes it, fine. I mean, that's cool and fine and dandy. But at this point, yeah. Anyway.
Poor Eric.
I'm just disappointed, man. I'm just like, gosh. I don't know. They don't got me hyped for this no more. Then we flash forward to the Wyatt Six, man. They're talking about they're going to decimate every single tag team, this, that, and the third. I mean, I like the promo that they did. Nikki Cross doing what she does best, looking and sounding crazy. Joe Gacy, being a psychotic man that he is. I was surprised Dexter Lumis even said anything. Because the last time I checked, he don't speak. So that was crazy. Okay. Of course, Uncle Howdy saying the stuff. Eric Rowan was saying some stuff, how they're going to decimate the tag division. I said, man, look, y'all could have been saying this on Raw. But it's cool. It's cool. But I like how they said, the only thing that the Prophets were really looking for with their tag team champs was just the lust of the gold. I said, ooh. I said, okay, that's a Bray Wyatt bar. I said that was good. I like how they did that. But this was good. But then we flash forward. Damian Priest going up against Carmelo Hayes. Now they had a very great promo backstage. Melo standing his ground. Melo and Priest was talking. They is to each other to the point where it set up to this match here. Damian Priest, even during their interaction backstage, was telling Carmelo, hey, mind your business. Melo said, I told you so. When it came to Alistair, he don't play. I said, all right, Melo, look, don't be looking like you weak. All right, bro. Like, I get it. You want to give some advice, but don't make it sound like you a jobber out here, okay? Now, to this point, by the match, I thought Carmelo had this match for real. I really did. I really did. And I was like, man, I wouldn't mind seeing Melo come out. But we know how this was. Aleister Black came back, started beating the hell out of Damian Priest. Melo runs out, kicks Damian Priest like 2 more times. I mean, they even had it in slow motion. I was like, my God. I mean, just great stuff, though, with the kicks, man. I got to love Aleister for this. But then we flash forward to Solo, man. He honestly, I ain't gonna lie, Solo had the crowd to the point he was getting the what chance. They was following up. He was following up, and it was actually working. Like, Solo really had this looking good for him. Okay, Solo's out there talking his dish, saying all this stuff about Jacob Fatu. Okay, saying they need to find out who hit them. And then he said, "Look at Jacob. Yeah, we know what happened. He's in jail. And criminal. Once a criminal, always the criminal." I said, "Yo,
Crazy line
for this."
Crazy line.
But then, of course, we go backstage, and the so-called criminal Jacob Fatu gets out. I ain't even gonna lie, the cop that they had interfering with Jacob Fatu, and then I said, man, this is insane. Y'all are really ridiculous for this. But they had Jacob Fatu coming out. Okay, Jimmy talking about, yeah, free the wolf. Free the wolf. I said, what?
Make it a shirt.
Yeah.
Make it a shirt.
He said, yeah, free wolf. Free wolf. I said, yo, get out of here, Big Jim. Oh. So, Jacob comes out. He says there was no evidence saying that he interfered, that he, did the hit and run on Tongaloa and the MFTs. Jacob comes out with Jimmy. They beat the hell out of all 4 of these men, by the way. Okay. I said, oh, this looks good for Big Jim, too. Now, of course, Jacob Fatu does what he does, but even for Big Jim, I mean, they was just sitting out here just taking chair shots, hitting chair shots. That's the chair shots. Okay. Looking crazy. And then at that point, now Adam Pearce comes out. Okay. And then they find out who was really the one that did their own hit and run. It was Solo. Okay. Solo framed Jacob Fatu. And of course, now Solo's the one that gets taken and cuffed. And this was hilarious, honestly. I loved everything about this. This was funny. This was a great story. I like what they're doing with this, man. This is good. Oh, man. Then we flash forward to actually a surprise of a shock, because I didn't expect her to be here, but La Primera. Okay?
The first, baby. The first.
Come on, man. She comes and actually has a match with Elba Fire. I mean, honestly, and had a banger of a match, getting the dub over Alba Fire. And of course, they try to, the Secret Herbis and Chelsea Green try to attack Stephanie McCare, but you won't get that one over La Primera. Okay? Looking strong as always. Then we flash forward to this tag team fatal 4-way match with DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, and Ray Phoenix and Andrade. Okay, now this was a bang of a match. Now, this was a qualifying match. Whoever wins that faces the Y6. I honestly don't see why we did this. I don't get why we did this. Nothing against Ray Phoenix and Andrade. Couple of things, and I'm probably going to talk about that in a second. But this was interesting. But yeah, we're gonna talk about this. Then we flash forward to the main event of the night with Cody Rhodes coming out talking about him facing John Cena at SummerSlam. Now we're at the contract signing. Of course, Adam Pearce loves being there. Man, just like Mr. Xclusive said, anywhere he's at, chaos follows. Because he even got more chaotic even after the fact. Okay, John Cena comes out. He tells Cody he's been emotionally exhausted. He's been working extra hard, that he can't be there for SummerSlam. He said he's doing a movie for Netflix. Netflix knows. They already know. We've already talked about his very last minute, but it's just what's best for business. Cody wasn't hearing that. John Cena tried to walk out. Cody literally starts to beat the hell out of John Cena, takes the title, hits Cena with the title, doesn't hesitate, and he puts John Cena through the table by jumping through it, and he makes John Cena sign the contract. And now we're going to be having Cody and Cena at SummerSlam in a street fight. And this is the finish right here.
Is that a Colonel William Gow pin on his lapel or his thing, collar, whatever you want to say on his coat?
It might be. I think
You got to go back the one more where he sit at the table.
Oh, he's sitting at the table. What? All right, here we go. Here we go.
Is that? I wish I could zoom in, but I think that's the Street Fighter's logo pin thing or whatever.
That would be crazy.
Strategery. I see you.
I like
man.
that. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie. I liked a lot of SmackDown. A couple things. First thing I just didn't like, man. I'm not liking this whole thing that's going on with the tag team division. Okay. We were talking about this last year when we first started this podcast. You heard us talk about how much we vouched for the Profits. You heard how much we vouched for the tag team division in general with DIY. Okay, before Motor City even came around. Okay, when Pretty Deadly and the Bloodline was still involved. But now you got the Wyatt Six, you got Fraxium. I was a little skeptical about Fraxium, but I let that one slide. I said, all right, it fits, it works, whatever. Could have had them on Raw, but no. We just gonna put everybody on SmackDown, right?
All the tag teams.
Put all the tag teams. Put all the good tag teams, and let's just make one big storyline for all the tag teams on SmackDown. Like Raw don't need it, but we're gonna do that for SmackDown. I'm not mad about that, but at the same time, how much are you costing these tag teams? You just first of all, and then you're making a tag team. You threw one together. Ray Phoenix and Andrade. Why are you doing that? Last time I checked, Ray Phoenix was already in a tag team with his own brother. But you got them on separate brands. You got Penta out here taking L's. But now, let's not put the Lucha Bros together and put them on Raw. Let's not take Fraxium and put them on Raw. Let's not take the Wyatt Six and put them on Raw. Let's take the titles off of the Profits that didn't have a PLE title defense ever. But you put them in the audience on a PLE. And every title defense you had was on SmackDown. Comical, criminal, and damn near blasphemy. They killed me with this, man. I said, oh, for real, this is what we doing? Andrade and Ray Phoenix. You gonna have them go up against the Wyatt Six? Where's the story in that? None. You should have had it be DIY. No rematch at that. Why didn't you have DIY win it? You already told a little story with Johnny Gargano being afraid of walking into that ring with Eric Rowan at the time. Why didn't you do something with that? Why didn't you start doing tag teams that got real story to them? Destroy and decimate them. But I guess you want to do the first newest tag team you just put together, what, a month ago? Yeah. I see the vision. I see the vision. Stupidity. That's what I'm saying.
You only sees talent. You only see talent.
They only see talent. That's what we say. That's what they say.
Okay.
But I honestly, I'd probably say my favorite part of the night. Honestly, I think the whole thing with the Bloodline. I thought that was very interesting and entertaining, especially with Solo doing his thing. The interaction with Jacob, man, I ain't gonna lie, they are really. It's crazy, before when Booker T and MVP would talk about going to jail, they'd tell people not to go to jail. Don't do this. Let's not do this. It's almost like they're making it seem like Jacob Fatu was making it look cool that he was in jail.
It's like, hey, man.
Fresh out. I mean, I was like, all right, okay. I get it. Okay, we want to make it real. This is, I mean, in my opinion, I said this is like Vince McMahon kind of writing right here with this. But especially with that cop. I said, man, who is this dude? Future WWE superstars. You know how that goes. Anytime you see security or the so-and-called cops, okay, that they bring. I said, man, they done gave this dude so many lines to say. I said, get this guy up out of here. Yeah, but I mean, that whole segment was crazy. Solo getting arrested. I said, man, this was straight buffoonery. But I'm digging the story. I like how Big Jim and Jacob look strong. Crazy how y'all beat 4 men. That's insane. Just the two of y'all. No Tonga. Waiting to see when he ever comes back.
Yes,
And
that's
how
gonna be
about Jacob
intriguing.
Fatu? So yeah, we're gonna see what happens with that. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Very much like you said, I thought SmackDown was solid. I mean, the highlight of the night was everything that was going on with Solo and Samoan Werewolf Jacob, and so that story, bleeding all through the night was great. The way it ended, it was all comical, like we've been saying for weeks now. The way that they have let Solo kind of go off the rails and kind of be his own thing and do his own thing has been gold for WWE, because Solo, he's killing it. The comedic performance, the way he's relating to the fans and audience nowadays, you could just tell is on a different level than what it was last year when they did that whole run as him being the new tribal chief and all of that type of stuff. So I'm glad they kind of let him break away from that and do his own thing and kind of let his personality kind of come through, because he's definitely been killing it. If I want to spend any time on anything, it's very much the whole tag team division thing. I was highly disappointed to see the Profits lose their title belts without ever really having an opportunity to showcase their talents on any type of main PLE. They gave them the titles before a PLE, which was WrestleMania, didn't feature them on WrestleMania, didn't feature them on Money in the Bank, and didn't feature them on Backlash, didn't feature them at
Night of Champions.
the Night of Champions. So like they never were featured on any main PLE, no matter, despite the A1 level matches they were putting on SmackDown when they did have to go out and actually perform. And it's just criminal that SummerSlam is coming, which is the next biggest thing for WWE, to the point that this year it's a 2-night event, and we couldn't have a match where the Profits get to come out repping the titles at a major PLE. And if you're going to lose it there, fine. But the fact that they're tag team champions and never got a PLE, that is just it's criminal in so many ways. And then you turn around on top of that, and the Wyatt Six now have the titles, and then they have this whole 4-way tag thing to see who's going to face them, and the Profits aren't even involved. And it was like, this is not making any sense. Like the writing of this, the whole setup of this, the whole execution of this makes no sense. Now, they may play something where, okay, Andrade and them lose next week, and then they got to set something up for the Wyatt Six at SummerSlam. But then it's like, well, how does the Wyatt Six automatically get a SummerSlam spot to defend their titles? When the whole time since before WrestleMania, we haven't seen the tag team titles defended at all on a PLE. So it's going to be crazy work, for just seeing talent. And then lastly, we have Cody. I love the ending segment with this John Cena being John Cena, just being devilish in his own little way, coming out acting like he's so tired. He got a movie. It's just the strain of being a champion is really taking its toll on him. Meanwhile, he's just beating everybody with a shot to the head with the title belt in like 3-minute matches. And so yeah, I did like it. I like the way it ended. I like the beat down and the taking his hand and making him sign the contract, all that kind of stuff. Great way to kind of end the show and go off the air. But yeah, the thing that bothered me the most was just the tag team division and kind of how they did this. And I just don't understand what it is about the tag team division or whatever it is. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle the Wyatt Six. That's going to give me some of the things, some answers, or at least corroborate some of the things that I have in my head about what I'm seeing from the tag team division. Because it's just, you would think that on SmackDown, because the tag team division is pushed so heavily, that you would actually see that stuff on PLEs. And meanwhile, Raw is suffering from the lack of their tag team division and tag teams, because everybody that's a tag team seems to be on SmackDown. They actually have had their wrestlers perform on PLEs. New Day was on a PLE. And so yeah, whatever. War Raiders, they were on a PLE, but whatever. It is what it is. But overall, SmackDown was decent. It was a decent show. Like I said, it was really, really bolstered by Solo and his antics.
And I might as well piggyback off of the tag team dream, because It truly does. It truly doesn't make sense. The storytelling on the tag team division. I know that to me, I've always felt like tag team wrestling has extremely. I know we talked about it before on the show, but I think it's extremely changed since the early 2000s. You know, you just throw people together. There's no real tag team vision going on there. You know, they just say, hey, let's take two superstars and put them together. Heck, they're doing it in the women's division now with Charlotte and Alexa, but it at least is working. I'll give them that. But the tag team division doesn't have the luster that it deserves. Now, they have the greatness on SmackDown. They have a lot of great tag teams on SmackDown. You know, DIY is a tag team within itself. Could they become single competitors? Because we've seen it. Yes, they can. But they're an amazing tag team together. The Profits, amazing tag team together. Fraxham, killing it. Tag team together. You know, Pretty Deadly before wherever. I know one of the guys are hurt, but they were doing well. So, like, SmackDown has all the tag teams. Yes, there are a few. I can look. They got American Made. They got like I said, the War Raiders now.
War Raiders.
War Raiders. You got the New Day, and you got the Judgment Day. That's it. SmackDown's got 19 tag teams. My thing is, and this is why I agree with Eric. If you're going to make the Wyatt Six the tag team champions, you make them the Raw tag team champions. Why? Because then you can have a beef with American Made. Why? Because you've already established that storyline. You've already established that storyline. That could work. Heck, them against the New Day could work because you know the New Day can sell it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go up against the Judgment Day, I guess it could work. But they should have been on Raw and been the tag team champions. There's no need for them to even be on SmackDown and be the tag team champions. Like you said, Fraxon, they could have went up there. They need people on Raw to make the tag team division at least equal or close to it. And at this point, I don't know if they can be better than SmackDown, but they've got to find a way to make them even. But the continued disrespect of the tag team division on SmackDown in general is just terrible. They had probably one of the greatest tag team matches in the last 4 or 5 years. The night before WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, the night before.
It was after. You had one of the greatest tag team matches in a long time. After the fact,
I know. Okay, yeah. I think about the DIY and the one before WrestleMania.
But even with that, I mean, still, we're talking about two great matches that they had, and it continues to the disrespect continues, and it's just, to me, it's just not feasible that this continues to happen. Now, I will say, I know Andrade and Rey Fenix being together is kind of weird, but they did get a tremendous pop when they won that match. So that part actually was like, okay. I was actually intrigued that happened. Now, I'm happy for Andrade in this case because they did kind of like shove Andrade to the side for a while. And, they had my man at catering and he was just kind of there. But it doesn't, putting him on Rey Fenix, I get it, but it doesn't make sense when you got his brother on the other brand losing every week. And you can bring the Lucha Bros together. You can make these things happen, but maybe that's long-term stuff. But in conclusion, when it comes to the tag team stuff, just Trip, you got to fix this, man. Like this can't keep happening. The disrespect to the Street Profits, this can't keep happening. How much longer did you think you can make it? Look, AEW, Montez, I know you don't want to leave your wife, but go. You don't deserve this, man. Like Angelo, you don't deserve this. Like, go to AEW. I put money on it. It'll be a lot better. I would love to see the Profits. I don't know what they'd be called when they're in AEW. Maybe like the they may not be the Street Profits. They may be the Boulevard Profits. I don't know.
Might just be the Profits.
They might just be the Profits. So if they go to AEW and they're going up against the Hurt Syndicate, I love that because I know that's going to be gold. But that's just wishful thinking. Yeah, but that's wishful thinking. Now, I'll go to the rest of the show now. I agree with Eric, Jade and Tiffany, and I love Jade. I think a big part of this is Tiffany needs to be healed. To me, she's just not a good face. And to be honest with you, even after the Charlotte thing, I was like, okay, well, she got through Charlotte. Her title reign has been stale. And it to me has not been a good title reign, maybe because they just didn't choose the right opponent for. I don't know what it's been, but it hasn't been good. They've had her fight Nia Jax 17 times. I thought at one point maybe her and the Naomi said, like when they had Naomi thinking that Naomi was gonna be the one, it kind of gave it a little juice. But that whole title reign has just not been good. So maybe Jade winning, and they eventually go Jade and Bianca. Okay, maybe that worked, but something has to give there because your women's champion has to, you know what I'm saying? Like it has to click, and it's not clicking right now. That something's got to give there. So I agree with you 100%, Eric. I hope Jay win, but I don't really care. I think Charlotte and Alexa, they're killing it. You made a good point when they were coming to the ring and Charlotte put her robe up in her face and they pushed the stuff to the side. It's nice, playful banter, but I love it for Charlotte because we were thinking like, what did they do with Charlotte? We just said this a couple like shows ago. Like what are they going to do with Charlotte here to make her, either she's going to be face. They're doing a good job of making her a face right now. If she was going to be heel, she need to go full blown with it. And so it's working. And, I know I don't think she's ever won a tag team title. So
no, she did.
She did win it. Who did she win it with? I don't know. That's how forgettable these tag team title rings.
Was it her?
I think Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, yeah.
Her and Becky won it? Okay, that tells you how forgettable these times
are. Her and Asuka. Okay.
Her and Asuka won the tag team. See, that tells you how forgettable these tag team runs have been on the women's side. Another reason why tag teams need to be more valued. So I love that for them. Why is 6? You know how I feel about that. They should. I don't know why. Last two.
Human nature.
Yeah, right. Last two. Cody and Cena. Human nature. Why? Shamo. But so Cody and Cena is going to be very interesting because I had a friend hit me up yesterday. Shout out to my man Mark Robinson. He said, Darrell, do you think we get the double turn at SummerSlam? And I said, I could see it. I could see Cody going full heel at this point, and then Cena switching over before the end of the year from his heelish ways back to, because here's the thing, Cena's getting cheered tremendously. They're not treating Cena like he's done a job as a heel. So if you're gonna do it, why not? And even when he left out, they showed the video. I saw a video clip of him leaving out of SmackDown on Friday, and you can see the conflict as the fans continue to cheer. Let's go see. They were cheering him up as he was walking back to the thing, and he looked at the one guy in the crowd, and he looked like he wanted to cry, almost like if old Cena was kind of like building up to appear, and he did the belt, and everybody cheered, and he went to the back, and I said, so after seeing that, and after him asking me that, I said I could see it, and just how aggressively Cody was making him sign this, sign the paper. You're gonna sign it. So like how aggressive it was, and I'm like, I think it might be happening, y'all. So that's what I look forward to see if that double turn actually does happen. And last but not least, Solo Sikoa, SmackDown MVP, right? I mean, Solo's a masterpiece right now, and I would love to see Jacob as champion, but I don't think you take the title off of Solo right now because what he's doing is really good. And he comes out every week.
That's stupid.
Like
that look is awesome. Yeah.
I love this for Solo. I love this for Solo because he's proven now that he can do a couple different things. He can be the comical guy. He can be the Stone Cold, I don't speak heel. I can be he just has been able to show different elements of himself. And this Solo right now is the best Solo that they've had. Even from NXT Solo or whatever, this Solo right now is cooking on all cylinders. And when they was dragging that man to the back and he was kicking and screaming about don't put me in the car, then he begs Cody, hey, Cody, man, help me out here. Cody looked at him, and just was like, and it kept on moving. I'm like, dang, Cody. And look, that's what I love. I love that he was able to reinvent himself because there was a point that we felt like, hey, man, Solo's not kicking right now. Like, I don't know what it is, but they got to figure it out. They figured it out, and it's working. And the group is working so far. And the Tama Tonga, that is the part that we're waiting for to see if he's going to side with Jacob because that Jacob and Jimmy, or will he go with his brother? But I think he's going to side with Jacob and Jimmy, because him and Jacob had a nice little vibe going at one point, and so they had the brothers going against each other. It's somewhat a bloodline warfare. So yeah, but SmackDown was good. I love it. And last thing I'll say, I think SummerSlam might have a better card than WrestleMania this year. The way this thing is starting to build, fellas, it just the matches. I'm like Gunther versus CM Punk, Cena versus Cena and Cody Part 2.
Solo fight at that.
Yeah, and a street fight. Solo and Jacob in the cage. In the cage. Now, I gotta agree with Jesse Ventura. No doors. Tell them they need to be old school. They gotta go over.
You don't just walk out of the cage.
This is stupid. So they ain't put my man back on commentary ever since.
He got uninvited.
Yeah, he can go up there. But I love it, and I think it's setting up for something good. I can't wait to see what SummerSlam is going to bring.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. SummerSlam will be our 1-year anniversary, man. So
no, what?
1-year anniversary.
2 weeks away, man. August 1st.
I know. It's insane, man.
Oh yes, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah,
There's been no bread, no water, just me.
Oh man, but we talked about some of the great things that happened on Monday Night Raw. Of course, with the OTC, Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman, LA Knight, unfortunately, Penta, and some of those good old things with Naomi, with Miss Caution in the Bank, okay? And then we talked about some of the great things with NXT, Shawn Michaels cooking it up, Lash Legends, Jada Parker, Trick NA, okay? Jasper Troy and Ethan,
my guy,
Adam Page, man. And we talked about some of the great things with SmackDown, with Solo. the man with the magic boot, Jacob 5'2", Big Jim, okay, Charlotte and Alexa, and of course Cody, and good old the never seen 17, John Cena. So, as always, make sure y'all follow all of our social medias. Y'all already know what this is. Just do it like Nike. Facebook, we on that. X, we on that. Instagram, we on that. TikTok, we on that as well. And of course, as always, we appreciate the love and support y'all been giving us. Of course, shout out to all my people on TikTok. Y'all been showing the love, the support on the panels. We're going to be doing a lot more live panelists for y'all, so definitely look out for that. We got a lot more new segments coming out. And of course, we tell y'all to do all this stuff because we're going to keep giving y'all that content the exclusive way.
It's the only way.
Come on, man. Stop playing with him. But as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We had the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive, and the one man and the only man that can check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. And that's the Heartbreak Prince himself. Because we are the Exclusive Knights, and we ensure to be the best there is, the best there was, and the best that ever will be.
Baby.
To ensure
Bill Goldberg.
I know.
Will never.
To ensure that your nights will never
be the same.
You already know. That's
and as you is and as you ain't down with the Knights, we got 2 words for you. Thank God.
Thank you.